Hi, I wanted to jump on here super quick and let you know my 2 cents on everything I learned. I learned from my pimp. I just downloaded the book. I'd read the first 2 chapters as a promo before everything was released. I was able to get that advance copy of those first 2 chapters. And the irony was not lost on me. It drew me in from the very first moment, and I knew as soon as the book was released I had to get it because I just needed to gobble up the rest of it. You see, my story is when I was 11 years old. I was 11, like I was 11 years old. I was in 5th grade, 6th grade. I think it was 6th. No, it was 7th grade. That's what it is. I was in 7th grade. It was winter, and my girlfriend was over, and she's like, hey, let's run away. And I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's run away. Okay, let's do it. So it took some work. I lived in the country, so it took some work to get to the closest city so we could get to a bus. So we had to take a cab, and then we got on the bus, and by the time we got there, because the closest city was about a half hour away. So by the time we got there, it was a good half hour, and we were low on money. So we go to the train station or the bus station, and we're like, this is how much we have. How far can we go? And I remember the woman looking at us dead in the eye and saying, you have enough money to get to Harlem. Now, for anyone who's not familiar with New York, Harlem is not a place you want to be hanging out in the middle of the night, 2 little tiny girls at 11 years old. And we were like, sign us up. So we get on the bus. And then in Harlem, we get off the bus. And we walked around for 2 hours before we saw anybody of the same color as us, quite honestly. It was the dead of winter. We were freezing. We were cold. It was dark. We were scared. We were like, what the hell did we just do? But we don't have enough money to make it back home. And our parents will kill us if we call them. And plus, really, the alternative, I didn't want to go home. Like, it was bad. My father was almost dying. He was almost dead at that point. My mother had mentally checked out of being a parent at that point. Like, there was a whole bunch of things going on, and I didn't want to. There was no other option for me, so I was staying no matter what. So we stayed, and we walked around for a few hours, and we were lucky enough to run into a few drug dealers who were there buying their stash of drugs for the week. They were high school kids, thankfully, who were just innocently enough trying to buy some acid for the week to sell at school. That was it. That's all they were trying to do. And they ran into a couple of preteen runaways. And they ended up taking amazing care of us. They kept us safe. They kept us warm. They kept us fed. It was amazing. Long story short, we ended up going home about a week later. And there were many adventures in that week. And all of that has shaped me into the person that I am today. And not one moment of my entire existence have I taken it for granted of what could have happened to me, what should have happened to me that night we ran away. I appreciate you, Jess, for telling your story, for bringing this to light. Sex slavery has always been on my heart because I know I could have had a different outcome. So I appreciate you. I appreciate your courage and your strength and every other single person that is out there just fighting to survive, who doesn't believe that there's another option. I pray for everyone. I promise you that I will work for the betterment of sex slavery and having the conversation when it's icky, when it's uncomfortable, when nobody wants to talk about it. Because that's the only way it's going to change, is by starting the conversation. So thank you so much for starting the conversation and for writing this book and having the courage to continue on and move on and do amazing freaking things with this world. I salute you. I love you. And get the book, because it is amazing. It is life-changing. And it's freaking real. Go change some lives, you guys. Get the book.